Welcome back. I'm Kris. Not with me today is Kris Jr. He's got his driver's license. He's off doing his own thing. I think he goes to school all day today, and then I think he works immediately afterwards tonight. I'm not sure. Anyway, I am here in his 1994 Mustang GT convertible, the one he's supposed to be driving today, but can't. Please pardon my voice. I just got done working 9 straight days in a row, and I got home this morning and took a power nap, and now I get to work on cars because there's always a car to work on, right? And this is how normal people live, right? Right? And unfortunately, instead of doing something fun to a car, an exhaust system, some engine work, some upgrades, now I've got to do more maintenance on this car. On day 2 or 3 while I was gone, Junior calls me and goes, "Hey, my brakes aren't working." His brakes aren't working just days after we just put the brand new calipers on it and got the brakes working again. Oh God, this car, Jesus. He calls and tells me that the brakes are bringing the car to a stop. Okay, not great, but once you're stopped, they'll only hold you for a couple of seconds. The brake bleeds off pressure, goes all the way to the floor, and the car starts moving again. He was having to put it in neutral and pull the handbrake to keep the car from stopping or from rolling. He was having to put it in neutral and pull the handbrake to keep the car from rolling. Just test drove it a minute ago. It didn't take me half a mile down the street to realize he's right, and there's a problem. So he's in our backup car, and I need to fix this thing. If you're unfamiliar with the 1994 Mustang GT, it's a completely unmolested bone stock car that we got for Junior to drive. Good news is it wasn't molested and raced and thrashed. The bad news is it also wasn't maintained either. Everything in this car is factory. The couple of tiny little things that were done to this car were done really poorly and unsatisfactorily. And that's me saying that. Think about that. It didn't even meet my standards. What word did I just use? Unsatisfactorily? No. Things have not been done to my satisfaction. And the bar to meet my satisfaction isn't normally very high. Except for brakes. I don't play around with my brakes or my son's brakes or any of my kids' brakes. Anyway, while I was at work, I ordered a new brake booster, and the brake master cylinder will be here in a couple hours. It's on order also. It's a little bit behind. Normally I'd say the lack of the bleeding off pressure is a master cylinder issue, even though I can't see any issues. But you can also hear the brake booster hissing while it's happening. You know what? If I'm going to do one, I'll just go ahead and do the other. They're both 31 years old. Factory original parts. I'm just going to swap them both out. So let's get started. Just doing some general regular stuff under the hood. Decided I'd check the radiator. There's supposed to be fluid in this, right? Where's that stuff going? That's not good. We're already having fun. I cannot get a wrench in here on this thing at any kind of meaningful angle to put any torque on it, so I've snaked my impact in here, and I'm going to use the impact gun. I went ahead and pulled off the strut tower brace. It doesn't make getting these bolts really any easier, but it has to come off to be able to get this stuff out eventually anyway. So it makes it a little easier to see. That's about it. The impact wrench took off the 2 bolts pretty easily. And I just realized I don't have a way to drain this. So I'm going to get brake fluid everywhere, which that's so good for a car's longevity. I'm sure that won't cause any problems. I wanted to say I hadn't seen any signs that this is leaking, but it's hard to see, but that is wet down there. So the master cylinder appears it has been leaking fluid into the brake booster. Great. I had kind of secretly hoped this master cylinder would be in mint condition, and then I could just return the other one and save some money, but that's not how things work around here. I thought I had a brake master cylinder kit around here that came with the little plugs to screw into this to keep from dumping fluid everywhere, but I can't find it, so I'm just gonna have to use a rag and hope for the best. Somehow, some way, just using a regular 13mm hand wrench, my brake line just popped right off without fighting, no getting stuck, no breaking a brake line. It's a miracle. I can't believe it. Now to make a huge mess. If you've never done a brake master cylinder, it is right there, right above your brake pedal. It is these 4 bolts on this silver square. Hey, there's some brake fluid coming through. Good times. Yep, so the brake master cylinder was definitely leaking into the brake booster, which definitely means the brake booster is ruined. And since I'm here, may as well fix it. I believe these are 1/2-inch bolts or nuts. The best advice I can give you for pulling a master cylinder is to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Yank the seat and lay under here and get extensions for the top bolts. Huzzah! I genuinely did not spill a single drop anywhere. That's awesome. Well, I brought this to the workbench and covered the brake line holes with a rag and wanted to feel what the piston feels like. I'm just kind of bench bleeding it, and it actually feels fine. It doesn't feel like there's an issue with this, but I have a new one on the way anyway, so I'll go ahead and replace it since it's out. And yes, I did come out here earlier and check to make sure there were no vacuum leaks or anything around the brake booster. I checked on this little diaphragm here, and everything seems to be functioning just fine. I mean, as far as vacuum leaks. I just realized how tight this brake booster is in here. Oh my God, how am I gonna get that out? These usually have like 1.5-inch bolts sticking through the firewall, and I've got a finger width here. I have 1/2 inch maybe. Oh, that's gonna be fun. Gonna go ahead and pull this seat, make it easier to get to the brake booster. Freaking teenagers. I just managed to drop one of the nuts from the brake booster back behind that carpet, and now I can't find it. My guess is it's under there somewhere. Good times. Because the top bolts are a little slice of hell to reach. Oh, that was a little slice of hell. That top right-hand bolt up there was an absolute nightmare to get to. You have to move the sensor out of the way over here. The steering shaft is in the way, but I finally got it, and I pulled myself out of the car and realized I hadn't pulled the pin and taken this off of the actual shaft of the brake booster. And even with everything disconnected inside, remember that issue about space? Yeah, it just hits everything. This air conditioner line, this vacuum line on the back of the intake, wiring, everything. I can only imagine how brutal it's going to be to get the new one in if I ever get this one out. I have gotten tired of asking this thing nicely to come out. This was insanely hard to get out of there. As you can tell, the only real way to get it out is these bolts catch on the way out. It just kind of wallered out these bolt holes, which is kind of what you need. I have a feeling I need to waller them all out just to get the new one in. Oh, and I guess I should go and make sure the new one is the right part. Appears to be right. Good enough for the girls I date, I guess. Oh my God. I'm having just as much fun getting the new one in as I did getting the old one out. Oh, this sucks so bad. I just noticed that the ends of the push rods on these things are not the same. They look roughly the same length. They're just different. I hope that's not going to be a problem. This shock tower is starting to piss me off. It's mini sledge clearancing time. That made all the difference in the world. Just caved this in. It just slid right on in instantly. You have got to be kidding me. The old brake booster, the vacuum port thing here is directly over this bolt. On this one, it's further over. My vacuum line can't reach. You have got to be kidding me right now. Oh, I know it's just a vacuum line, but good God, it's just so many things over and over and over and over. Why can't they just be the same? Didn't have any actual vacuum hose the same, but had some old fuel line, and hopefully that's good enough. I am definitely going to jinx myself, but all that underdash nonsense just threw itself together entirely way too easily. I better go make sure the brake lights work and make sure that brake switch is working properly. Got to go pick up my daughter and the majestic project piece of stang. I got the seat back in. Now I'm just waiting on the master cylinder. New master cylinder's here. I got it filled. I got it bled as well as I can. Bench bled. Time to get it on the car and hope for the best. I am really hoping that push rod came set to the proper length. I really don't have any way of knowing for sure. It should come as a surprise to nobody that I made a huge, massive mess reinstalling the master cylinder, but it is installed. I think I've got the line sealed up. I don't think I have any leaks. Everything's just wet from everything I spilled and tried to wipe up. Before I put the strut tower brace on, let's see if the brakes hold. I was afraid of that. These brakes kind of suck. They definitely need bled. Yeah, there's not a lot of pedal there. I just don't have anyone here to bleed them with me. I don't have a bleeder kit that I can use or anything, a vacuum bleeder. Let's see if they'll at least hold the car from rolling in gear. Yeah, the emergency brake is off. We're in first gear. Yeah, I mean, they're stopping the car, but they're not great. Check reverse. Yeah, they got a lot of air in the lines, and I don't have anyone here to help me. That's not good. Really, they feel just like they did before all of this work, but they're at least holding the car now. I got the strut tower brace on. I'm gonna take it around the block just to make sure the brakes do something. Did not make it very far. The brakes are catching right at the floor. Can't help but think that push rod isn't adjusted properly. I think I'm gonna take the master cylinder off, slide it off, see if I can adjust that push rod a little longer, because it feels like normal brakes, just really, really far down by the floor. I think I'm gonna try to take this off, but it looks like I've got a leak somewhere, but I can't figure out where. Everything's wet again, but nothing is wet like here. It's not wet up here. It's the only thing I moved was up top. Oh, the cap. Huh. Okay, maybe I forced some fluid out of the cap. I may have overfilled it. That might be it. I don't like this. The push rod on this is a completely different size than the old master cylinder, which might be part of the problem. Comparing the length is almost impossible. All I can really think to do is try to lengthen that out, see if I get better brakes for now. It's very hard to say how much extension I put on the push rod. Let's see if it made any difference. I'm gonna go ahead and just take it around the block, see if that made any difference. I mean, it's stopping the car right here. That's not great. It stopped the car. Now let's see. It's holding the car in gear. Looking in the first gear, yeah, it's holding the car here. It's not rolling anymore. The brakes aren't bleeding down. It's just the brakes aren't catching till right off the floorboard. I think the brakes just have a ton of air in them. You know, I mean, I did my best to bench bleed them, try to get as much air out of the master cylinder as possible, but it's a subpar job, and I don't have anyone here to help me bleed them, so it's gonna have to wait for another day. I'm just gonna take it home and park it. I just did a brake test from about 30 that I forgot to film, and it was pretty bad, so I'm just gonna park it, and it's gonna have to wait for another day. Decided to be kind to the boy and replace his trunk struts, because that's the opposite of what they're supposed to do. Didn't really spring back like I thought they would. I know it's a heavy trunk lid, but I thought this would spring up pretty well. All right, well, it's better than it was. It's the next day. Look who's finally guest starring in a video about his own car. Get in and fire it up, boy. Brakes all the way down. Up and back down. Not really getting any air bubbles out of this. It's not good. There we go. Big old air bubble working its way out. Finally. All right, car's back in the ground. All the brakes are bled. They do not feel great sitting here. We're gonna go test drive it, but I'm not so sure about this. I still feel like they're just catching right at the floor still. I don't get it. It's holding the car, but still the brakes are all the way down on the floor. The moment you let them up 1/4 inch, you start rolling. Don't get it. Let's go see how they do on the actual open road. 40 mile per hour brake test. Bring them to a stop. Brake pedal's so far down. They're working. It's stopping us. Let's go out and try 60. All right, 60 miles per hour. No one ahead of us or behind us. Let's see. All right, and stop. It stopped. It stopped competently. Just can't believe. Ooh, smell some brake. Can't believe how far down this thing's having to go to get us to stop. So weird. We'll let him drive it for a minute, see what he thinks of it, see how it feels compared to the way it was. How's that feeling?
It feels better than it was.
Better than it was? All right. Take us to the parts store so we can exchange this brake booster, the boy.
Indeed.
You comfortable with it?
Yeah, I am.
Ready to stop. Oh, there we go. See, it catches all of a sudden. Hold it here, make sure it doesn't roll any. The brake's not moving or anything, it's not bleeding off any pressure.
Oh, it's good.
All right, let's go home. Guess we'll call that good. You think this is a victory, the boy?
Huzzah.
Huzzah!
Well, if I call it a huzzah, then oh, great.
Probably. Well, we're calling this a victorious huzzah for now, at least.
Until it breaks.
All right, that's it. We ran out of time. Junior and I were going to do a couple other little things in the car. Just didn't have time. Ran out of time, ran out of daylight, ran out of days off, and he's so busy, and that's it. So that's all we have. Fingers crossed that this car will actually stay on the road for a little bit and I can get back to working on the other two cars and having fun, like new exhaust systems and rewiring white trash and trying to get it on the road and actually do something other than reparative maintenance. That would be amazing. But thank you for watching. I really appreciate it.